Hey there, today I'm chatting about this action comedy movie, Barely Lethal. So there's this hush-hush place called Prescott Academy. It's not your usual school, it's run by the government, and guess what? They train little girls to become super spies or assassins. The boss of this place, Hardman, picks them up really young, like as babies, to start their training. They learn all sorts of cool and dangerous stuff without any TV or internet to distract them. Basically, these young girls are turned into top-secret agents. Kids here start learning to shoot with big guns when they are just 3, even taller than them. By the time they're 5, they also learn how to drive. And guess what? Just a year later, they can already be in a super fast car chase, driving like pros. They practice different forms of fighting skills. They're getting ready for dangerous missions when they become teens. They won't look suspicious because they're young. The top rule there is no attachments. So even though all these kids have no parents, they aren't close to each other. They don't have names, just numbers. The best among them is number 83. She's really good at shooting and fighting, but she doesn't get why they can't be friends. Once, they were asked to poke a toy with a pen. While the others did just that, 83 hugged the toy instead. This made their tough trainer, Hardman, use her as a warning. He showed everyone by ripping the toy's head off. 83 is having an emotions inside, and it looks like she might just burst one day. She's growing up to be a strong teenager with some serious fighting skills. There's also this other girl, 84, who's always coming in second to 83 in everything. 84 really doesn't like 83 and would probably hurt her if they weren't working for the same team. 83 is the first from her group who gets picked for really dangerous jobs. And as you might guess, 84 is not happy about this at all, but she can't do anything about it. 83 is a young agent who does a lot of missions because she's still a teenager, and no one thinks she's an agent. She's really good at her job, and Hardman thinks she's great. But even with all the excitement, she misses having a normal life like other teenagers. On one mission, while she's spying on someone, she sees a party happening next door, and it makes her wish for a normal teenage life even more. 83 sees teenagers dancing and having a great time, which makes her see that her own life has been very different. She feels like she missed out on a lot of childhood fun and doesn't want to lose her teen years too. She makes up her mind to run away from the place and the duties she's been stuck with as soon as she can. But first, she really needs to understand what it means to be a normal girl. She begins to learn about teenage high school life by catching bits from movies like Mean Girls, The Princess Diaries, and Clueless. Whenever she's off on a mission, she picks up magazines, sneaking peeks at them even during dull meetings. One time, she gets caught red-handed by Hardman, her boss, flipping through a magazine right as he's explaining a risky mission. He tells her sharply to focus up, reminding her how serious their next assignment is. 8 hours ago, they found out where Victoria, an arms dealer and the most dangerous woman in the mafia, was hiding. She needs to be caught alive in 2 days, or she will vanish once more. 84 really wants to go on this mission, thinking it might make her Hardman's favorite, but the task goes to 83. Next, we see Victoria in a construction zone holding 3 people hostage. She mocks them and removes their blindfolds. Suddenly, the woman they had captured turns out to be 83. Out of nowhere, 83 fights Knox and beats all the bad guys around her. She hooks Knox to a hook that's connected to a flying airplane. Finally, they get lifted up to the plane, and 83 finishes her mission. But Knox still has her gun and aims it at her. Quick thinking, 83 cuts the harness she's in and falls into the river below, while Knox gets taken inside the airplane. When Hardman realizes 83 is gone, he tries to reach her using a gadget on her wrist. 83 climbs out of the water and hears someone calling out. She decides not to answer because she wants to leave her past behind. She throws her watch away, promising herself to never look back. Meanwhile, back in the airplane, Hardman finds out that they've lost contact with her. He marks her as inactive and starts questioning Victoria. Next thing you know, 83 becomes Megan, begins a new life, starts going to high school in Newton, and moves in with the Larsons, who she met online. The Larsons include Mrs. Larson, her son Parker, and Liz, her sarcastic teenage daughter who's not thrilled about Megan moving in. Liz finds Megan odd for being amazed by simple things like taking the school bus, but she agrees to help her around school to make her mom happy. Megan wore a really silly outfit on her first day of school. It was so out there that everyone couldn't help but look at her. Right when she got to school, a mean boy named Gooch started teasing her, calling her fresh meat, and making everyone laugh. Liz tried to help by giving her simpler clothes to wear. There was this big school meeting where she had to speak because she's from another country. Just before she went up, she met Roger, a smart kid who helps with the school band's sound system. Megan thought he was just a typical nerd like in the movies. When she got up to talk, the kids weren't nice at all. They even told her to go back to Canada. Once the chanting from the crowd gets really loud, Cash, who leads the school's band, decides to step in with a song. He is the most popular guy everyone likes, and Megan gets a crush on him too. Some cheerleaders invite her to join them for lunch, but Megan thinks they're going to be mean like in the movies, so she says no. In biology, she meets Roger and they become friends. Roger seems to like her, but Megan can't stop thinking about Cash. The next day, she ends up being Cash's lab partner, which makes some girls jealous. They tell Megan that Cash likes girls who are the school mascot, hoping she'll back off. Megan doesn't see through their plan and decides to try out to be the mascot. Right away, she gets picked for the next game and heads off to practice. But then something wild happens. These guys wearing masks charge at her, looking like they're out to kidnap her. Megan isn't having any of it, though. She fights back with all she's got and beats them, leaving everyone watching in total shock. At first, she thinks they're bad guys sent by someone named Hardman, but nope, they're just some troublemakers from another college. Before she knows it, everyone's got their phones out, recording her, and suddenly her face is all over social media. Not what she wanted at all. Meanwhile, in a place called Prescott's base, Victoria's caught up in a tough spot, getting questioned by Hardman. Victoria knows it's wrong when a man steals good childhoods from young girls. She tells him it's wrong, but he thinks he's doing it for a good reason. Victoria is also really interested in someone called 84 and wants to use her to get away. Then they see a video of Megan online and think she might be helping another group now. The next day at school, everyone couldn't stop talking about Megan and how amazingly she fought. She quickly became one of the most popular girls. Her day got even better when Cash, the guy she likes, invited her to his band practice. There, she met Roger and they chatted. Roger really liked her, and they found out they have lots in common. But Megan was too caught up with Cash to notice Roger's interest in her. Later, she got invited to a big high school party thrown by Gooch, who used to bully her. Megan was super excited about it because she had only heard of such parties in movies. But when she was going home that day, some people from Prescott kidnapped her. Hardman thought she was helping another company and didn't trust her when she said she just wanted a normal life. He used a truth drug on her to find out she was honest. Hardman believes he owns her because he taught her everything. He tells her to come back to base in 2 days. Then, his team leaves her at the front of a house to make it seem like she was just drunk. Megan really wanted Roger to come with her to Gooch's party. However, Roger can't go because his dad is pretty strict about parties. Megan felt a bit sad because Roger is her only friend at school. Despite this, Megan ends up going to the party with Liz, who didn't really want to go, but her mom made her. At the party, 84 is also present, going by the name of Heather. Megan thinks maybe Heather was sent by Hardman to watch her, but Heather keeps mum about it. During the party, Megan spots Roger, who seems upset to find Megan kissing Cash. At the end of the party, Cash surprises Megan by asking her to be his date for homecoming. The next day, Megan hops on the school bus and is surprised to see Hardman pretending to be the bus driver. He's there to tell her that Victoria has broken out of Prescott and wants to get back at her. He suggests Megan should go back to Prescott for safety, but she says no. Later, Megan and Liz are on their way to school in a car when a masked person starts chasing them. During the chase, Megan spills the beans about her old life to Liz. They end up crashing into a junkyard, and the person chasing them crashes too. Megan was in a real pickle because the assassin had vanished. But then, she figured out it was Heather because of the way she smelled. Meanwhile, Liz was stuck in the hospital because of the accident. Megan felt super bad and thought she should leave so no one else would get hurt because of her. But Liz was like, no way, leaving us would be way worse. After that day, things got better between them. Megan opened up to Liz about her secret agent life. They even had fun shopping for homecoming dresses and helped each other get all dolled up for the big night. Liz was hanging out with Gooch, who has changed after spending time with her at the party. Chase and Megan go together. Megan had high hopes for their date, but was disappointed because Chase barely spoke to her. She soon figured out that being popular was all he cared about. So, Megan broke up with him and asked Roger for a dance, but he unexpectedly said no because he was there with Heather. This led to Megan and Heather fighting over who would be Roger's date, turning the place upside down and wrecking the decorations. The fight got so intense that they ended up in the kitchen where Heather tried to stab Megan. Out of nowhere, Liz saved the day by stabbing Heather in the leg with a corndog stick. Then, Megan knocked Heather out by hitting her on the head. The girls rushed home and found out that Victoria and her team had taken Mrs. Larson and Parker as hostages. Megan fought against them bravely until they caught Liz. At that moment, she stopped fighting to keep her family safe, but deep down, she still hoped that Hardman would come to rescue her. Victoria finds it funny when she sees how innocent Megan is and tells her a secret. She was the first girl from Prescott, the number one. Just like Megan, she left Prescott because it took away her childhood. Then Victoria dares Megan to fight her alone and wins without much trouble. But unexpectedly, Hardman comes with backup to save Megan and catch Victoria. They manage to knock out Victoria by using a tranquilizer gun. Megan gives Hardman a big hug to thank him for his help. At the end, she catches up with Roger while he's driving home. She takes him with her on a helicopter ride. Remember to subscribe for more cool videos. Don't forget to hit the like button and turn on notifications to support the channel. Thanks for watching.